Basically, everyone that Donald Trump has picked to serve in his administration has been just terrible, as bad or worse in some ways than he himself is. But we have a new person, a conservative journalist, who's kind of like, I don't know, standing out even from the pack in this. This is Darren Beattie, who was fired as a White House speechwriter during his first term because at that point he spoke at a conference with white nationalists, which is a thing that even in the first term of Donald Trump could get you fired. But not anymore, because we are far worse as a society than we were with lower expectations. And so he's back in. So he already had a role in the State Department. Now he's been tapped, or maybe topped, I'm gonna stick with it, to serve as the State Department's acting Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy, which is a much higher position than he previously held. It leads America's public diplomacy outreach, which includes messaging to counter terrorism and violent extremism, and oversees the bureaus of educational and cultural affairs and global public affairs. Well, there's a lot to know about this guy, and we will get into it. But first, I just want you to hear a little bit of Van Jones talking about him.
Look, I mean, this is shameless and despicable. And it really, they are saying they only want quality. We've got to go with quality. We got to go with excellence. And then they bring in people out of the trash can. They just go drag out horrible people who you wouldn't hire to run a bodega and put them in the highest positions. And so it's the gaslighting of Americans, attacking black people, attacking brown people, saying we're not good enough. And then they go get the worst people ever born and put them in high positions. And so at some point, I think right now Americans are just shocked. People say, where are the protests? I think people are literally just shocked and can't believe it and having a hard time processing it. But at some point, you piss off enough people, you fire enough people, you pull the rug out from enough people, you shut down enough programs, and you start building up a big bank of people who are pissed off. And that is going to come.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope that there is someone still angry about this. I hope that there's some sort of reaction. But even when you see what this guy has said and done, I don't know that it'll be enough. I don't know that we have any expectations whatsoever. And the right loves him. Let's see. Ben Smith of 74 says Darren personifies the America First right, smart, tough, relentless. Just remember the smart and tough part, with a take no prisoners attitude. He made Revolver a major player in the frontal attack on the deep state. So this is from Steve Bannon, a text message being reported by Ben Smith in 74. As important as his agency will be in the building at Foggy Bottom, the symbolism of his hire by POTUS screams, we don't give 2 Fs for convention. So they don't give Fs for convention. So you might think, well, this guy's unconventional. Well, let's see. Here's some of what he has tweeted. Competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men. Now, to be fair, look, you go far enough back in anyone's social media and you'll find some bad stuff. Probably not that bad. Also, you don't have to go far back. He posted that in October. He posted that in the immediate lead up to the election. Competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. I think that you don't get to describe a person as smart if their brain is so utterly addled and scrambled that they can't conceive of anyone holding a position of authority that doesn't share a skin tone with them. But whatever, he goes on to say, I don't know about you, but I think we've heard enough complaining from women and minorities. You know, women and minorities always complaining. Oh, what do they have to complain about? And then there's like a special genre of tweets he sends out constantly saying that black people need to learn their place and take a knee. So Tim Scott needs to learn his place and take a knee. BLM must take a knee and then learn their place. Ibram Kendi needs to learn his place and take a knee, learn his proper role in our society. Kay Cole James of Heritage Foundation needs to learn her natural place and take a knee to MAGA. So women as well also need to get on their knees and learn their proper role in society. That guy's gonna be in charge of some of our diplomacy, so that's great. They're choosing only the best. This is what a meritocracy is, Adrienne. What do you think?
Yeah, this is so incredibly special. And it might sound strange to say this, but I appreciate his tweets in large part because at least he's not gonna lie to my face and pretend that he is one who believes in equity. We know who this person is, and I prefer to deal with those individuals so that the gaslighting ends, it stops, and people just say exactly what they're thinking and what they plan to do and how they wanna treat you. Because then it just saves us a lot of time. And also for the people out there who do the whole white apology thing, like you can't do that anymore. You're gonna have to just embrace that there are individuals in our leadership who are simply white nationalist. And
Yeah.
yeah, it just takes away that deniability. And I prefer to have that.
Yeah, like that's the more modern term, white nationalists. Also, like if you're saying only white people get to rule, I don't even know that white supremacist is really like big enough to. But again, don't call him a racist. You're too focused on identity. If you accurately identify that the white supremacist is a white supremacist, we're too focused on identity. They, the ones who say only one identity gets to hold government office, damn the Constitution or whatever, they're not. They don't do identity politics. They only think that one identity should be in politics, but they don't do identity politics. Anyway, we have another example of this coming up, but yeah, no, he's just gonna have that position. And why wouldn't he? Like he is saying, I was gonna say the things that the others won't say on Twitter, but Elon Musk is saying only white people get to come into America. So I don't know, maybe he has Darren Beattie beat in this particular case. They're just all utterly, like think about how utterly pathetic psychologically and emotionally you need to be to believe the things that he says. And I'm assuming things he won't say. Like he says things other people know not to say. What is in his heart that he's not tweeting? But that you think like how utterly just broken you are to think, no, I need society to be set up in a way that I, by definition, am the only sort of person that gets to be in charge. I never have to compete against women. I never have to compete against black or brown people because they couldn't match me. That's what it is. I don't deeply know on a cellular level that I can't match up with them. And then meanwhile, you know what on Twitter they're freaking out about right now? That Jasmine Crockett made a comment on a news show about white tears from mediocre white men. That's racist. But the mediocre white men that are saying that society should be set up so that they're never challenged and they automatically get ahead. Don't call it DEI. They automatically win. That's not racist. Okay. Just trying to learn some lessons in the modern era. Anyway, any final thoughts, Adrienne, before we move on?
It's really sad and unfortunate, but also when we consider the founding of our country and what it was founded upon and those principles, it's full circle and returning to that. And maybe that's because we've never fully acknowledged and embraced it so that we could distance ourselves from it.
Yeah, maybe. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.